So today I'm going to be showing you how to build this spooky haunted mansion, perfect for Halloween. But before we get into the tutorial, please don't forget to like and subscribe and let me know what else I should build. Okay, the measurements for this one are 13 down, then 8 in, then 4 down, then 5 across, then 4 up, then another 8 out, 4 up, 2 out, 5 up, 2 in, 4 up, 8, then up 4, across 9, down 4, out 4, back to that outside orange block. Those measurements may be a bit confusing because I'm actually counting from orange block to orange block, not the yellow blocks. It's much easier if you just follow the map. I'm starting by placing 3 stripped dark oak bark blocks on every single orange piece of terracotta, except for this line of 5. The front 3 are gonna be 2 high, and then the back 2 are gonna be 3 high. But that's only for those strips of 5. All the other ones are just 3 tall. Then once you have that, I'm just placing some normal dark oak bark blocks on all of the yellow terracotta. And if you're building this in survival, you can actually just use normal logs for this too, to save wood, because you're not gonna see the tops or bottoms. So I'm just placing those on all the yellow blocks, making sure they're all facing the same direction. Then once I have that, I'm just placing some stripped dark oak bark blocks, connecting all of those original 3 dark oak bark blocks we placed all around. And once I have that, I'm just filling in between that with dark oak fences. And that's the foundation for the entire house done. Super, super easy. Then across the front of the building, I'm gonna place an extra dark oak bark block on each of those original 3 pillars, just so we'll have something to build the porch off of. Then I'm just adding some stairs, starting on that lime green terracotta, and then I'm just placing 3 rows of stairs all the way up the top. Then I'm just filling in this porch from the end of the stairs, going 4 blocks back and then filling in that entire corner. Then once I have that, I'm just placing mud brick walls on each of those stripped dark oak bark blocks and making sure to place 2 at the front. Then I'm placing just 2 gates at the bottom and then 1 fence at the top. Then I'm placing a fence on the outside and a gate on the inside between all of these little dark oak bark blocks. And that's gonna be our little railing. Then I'm placing a jungle fence on each of those mud brick walls and 2 on the ones in the front. Then I'm just placing another mud brick wall on top of that, only 1 even on the ones in the front, so they all should match and be the same height now. Then on top, I'm just placing some more stripped dark oak bark blocks and connecting them by filling in the in-between, so it should look like this. Then I'm connecting the top with some gates and a fence in the middle, and not forgetting to fill this front bit in. So it's a reverse of the pattern at the bottom. The bottom is fences on the outside, a gate in the middle, but the top is gates on the outside, a fence in the middle. And if you want to take that a step further, you could even hang lanterns from that, but I decided not to for this build. So now I'm going to add some mud brick blocks to build up the sides where the walls are going to be. And I'm actually going to leave that wall till a little bit later. I'm going to start by building up this front entryway stair section first, because I think that'll be the easiest. So I'm starting by placing some dark oak stairs, just placing them all the way up to the top, just how you normally would do stairs. Then in between, I'm going to put some mud bricks and then some dark oak stripped logs behind that, and then a jungle fence in the center. So it should look like this. Then once I have that, I'm just around all of these stripped dark oak blocks, I'm placing some dark oak stairs and on top of it, building up the roof. Once I have that, 3 back from the edge, I'm placing some dark oak bark blocks, and I'm putting those 3 blocks tall. Then I'm putting some bricks in between that and 1 brick in the center. Then I'm putting some upside down mud brick stairs on the edges, so it should look like this. Then I'm just breaking these stairs because this is going to be wall, not roof. Then I'm just taking some mud bricks and I'm outlining the entire edge of the build, 1 block in from the stripped dark oak bark blocks. Once I have that, on top of all of these dark oak bark blocks I have, I'm placing some fence and gates alternating each block, and I'm doing that around the entire build. Then once I have that, I'm using some mud bricks to outline some windows, placing it 4 blocks up in the corner, not including that first block we're placing it on. Then all the way across the top, meeting that original pillar we built behind the stairs section. Then we're just adding 1 more block there. Then I'm going 1 up and putting another row across the top and not connecting the corner this time. Then I'm just going across the top and doing the corners for this other section here. And pretty much doing the same thing around the entire build, doing the top section, going up a block and outlining that entire top bit, except not connecting the corners. So it should look like this. Then we're doing the same for this bump out here, where we're putting some mud bricks in the corners and some in the center and putting mud bricks all along the top. So here we're just outlining some windows that'll be more obvious once we actually put the walls and glass in. And doing the same thing where we're outlining here, but this time instead of just not connecting the corners, we're also gonna break the corners, but only on the top bit. And it looks a little strange right now, but trust me, when we add the other blocks, it'll make more sense. So we just keep going with this pattern, and we're gonna do the exact same thing on this other wall here, where we go on the corners and across the top. And then I'm gonna add 2 more little mud brick sections there, so it just makes it all even in the end. And we're doing the same thing, building that all the way up, and then outlining the top and not connecting the corner. Then we're just going to continue this around all the way, meeting up with that roof we just built. So it should look like this. It's a little bit tricky, but once you have this like little skeleton bit down, that entire section's, it's basically almost done. So once you have this, we're just going through with the walls and we're putting them right next to those pillars and then one in the center to make some windows. And we're just doing that all the way across every other one, leaving a gap and then placing walls. It's like super simple. And once we get to this first little like bumped out section, instead of putting the walls on the edge, we're gonna put some mud brick stairs and just make like super basic arched windows like we do in all of my other houses ever because I love them. And then once we get back to the normal wall, we just continue with the mud brick walls, lining the outside, one in the center. And then on this last one, we're just putting 1 because it's only a gap of 2. We're making sure just to fill in that one side, and it'll make more sense once we build that little other bit. And then we're just adding walls in the corner of the top section and it's done. Now I think it's easiest if we get this little tiny section out of the way. So we're going to start by putting 1 wall in each of the corners, then building up the back 3 tall with mud bricks and putting a row of mud bricks all across the top, 2 next to those walls, and then 1 mud brick stair in the center. Then I'm building up this outside 2 more and adding some right side up and upside down stairs to make a little circle window, just like this. And then once I have that, I'm just building up the roof so it matches the other bit of roof we already have. So it should all line up and connect pretty perfectly with the 1 plank in the center. And then that's done. It's like super simple. For this top little like section that we left open, I'm going to start by placing dark oak bark blocks behind it, just like we did for the foundation at the bottom. Now you can place these any way you want. I think it looks better if they're all facing up. So I'm starting by placing blocks all across the block below it and then building the bark blocks on top of it. But if that's too much work for you, you can just place them across however you want. On the outside, in front of all those dark oak bark blocks, you're going to just put jungle wood fences. Once you have that, I'm going to move back to this front section because we need to start with the next layer. On top of those stripped dark oak bark blocks we already have, I'm placing 4 more. Then I'm putting some dark oak fences across the front and putting some upside down mud brick stairs and a row of mud brick blocks in between at the top. Then I'm putting 3 mud brick walls on top of those stripped dark oak bark blocks. Then in between that, I'm putting just right side up mud brick stairs, then just normal mud bricks, then some upside down mud brick stairs to make this wall a little bit like wavy, giving it a little bit of a pattern. Then on top of that, I'm placing some more right side up mud brick stairs. Then I'm placing 3 stripped dark oak bark blocks on top of those mud brick walls. Then I'm placing some normal mud bricks across. Then on the outsides, putting 2 mud bricks on each, and then across at the top again, leaving a window that's a 1x2. Then I'm just adding the roof, and the roof is right side up stair, upside down stair, up plank, right side up stair, upside down stair, up plank, all the way up till you get to the top. Once you have the roof, it should look like this. And that whole front is basically done. So once I have that, I'm starting by placing some right side up and upside down stairs to give it a little bump. Then just normal mud bricks all the way up to meet where our stripped dark oak ends. Then we're just following the same pattern that we did on the front side with the right side up mud brick stairs, then just normal mud brick blocks across the top, then upside down mud brick stairs, then right side up mud brick stairs, and then we hit the roof. And you're gonna do that exact same pattern for the other side as well, so they should match. Once we have that, the next bit is super simple. We're just starting by placing a mud brick pillar 4 blocks tall, not in the corner, but 1 away from the corner. So it should look like this. Then we're just placing a mud brick block on the outsides of each of those, and then a mud brick upside down stair on the inside. Then I'm replacing that top bit of the pillar with a right side up mud brick stair. Then I'm just placing mud bricks all across the top. Once you have this little window, we're going to fill in the corners with mud brick walls, and it's done. You're just going to copy that basically again and again and again until this entire layer is done. It's basically just this window over and over again. So I'm starting by lining the top just because that's easiest for me, placing the mud bricks not in the corner, then 1 in the center. And we're just going to put a stair on the top of each of those pillars, then upside down stairs, making little windows. Since this cap here is a little bit small, we're just going to fill this in with normal mud bricks. leaving a little window. And we're doing this exact same thing on the other side. Except on this side, because we have room, we're putting another full window at the back. So it should look like this. Then we're finishing this section here. We're starting by building up the stripped dark oak pillars on the corners, and they go up 6 blocks tall. Then I'm just using some normal mud brick blocks on the edge and outlining some little windows. And those will be 1 by 3 windows. Then in this back section, I'm putting mud bricks all across the top, and I'm placing some right side up mud brick stairs, like facing away from where the window is gonna be. Then I'm just placing a normal mud brick, and then another upside down mud brick stair. I think it's easier just to break this little piece of dark oak, but I think you could place it without doing that. I just didn't. Then I'm putting another row across the top, and I'm putting some upside down mud bricks to create the little arched window. And it should look like this. Once you have this, I'm breaking that section there, leaving a 2 by 3 so that we can make a circle window. Once I have this, I'm just building the roof off of it. Normal, just going all the way up, just like we did all the other roofs, and a plank in the center. Next, we're doing the roof around this bit. So you're starting, I'm just placing a normal plank on top of the mud bricks all around the top of the build. Then on the outside of that plank, I'm placing some stairs. And then I'm going to start by showing you how to build this window on this first side. I'm just placing up the edges, 2 tall. Then I'm placing some upside down dark oak stairs. I'm just placing some stairs to build the roof up, and we're placing some planks behind that. So it's a little bit confusing, but it should look like this. We're just doing that same roof pattern and window for each side. So there's going to be one at the front, one on the side, one at the back, another at the back, another on the side, and the last one on the front. So every side of this roof should have a window, and they're all the exact same. You just follow the pattern: stairs, 2 planks, stairs, 1 plank, stairs, and then add in the windows. And we're building back the OG roof that we built just a little bit so it overlaps. Then once you have that, we're just gonna fill in the top bit all the way across and adding a wall to that inside bit. Once that's done, all we have to do is add some fences to all of these little roof bits and around the outside of this top part. And I'm placing it on the stairs just because when you're on the ground, they're kind of hard to see if they're on the plank behind the stairs, but either way works. Then I'm building the roof for this porch bit, just filling in with a bunch of mud bricks, super easy. Then I'm placing some mud brick walls on the outsides and 2 in the center to make some more windows, and all across the top and all across the bottom. Then for this final section with the door, I'm just putting some stripped dark oak blocks, making sure they're all facing the same direction, leaving a 1 by 2 for a door and a 1 by 1 for a window. Then it should look like this. All you have to do is add the glass. Then I'm going to quickly add a little porch swing. It's the exact same pattern I've used in some of my build tutorials before. I'm just adding 4 slabs, using some hanging signs and chains to be the arms and what's hanging the swing. Then I'm using some normal signs and trapdoors for the back, and it should look like this. Once I have that, I'm just building a little table so that I can add some jack-o'-lanterns and candles and make it look cute. And then I'm filling in the windows, and once it's done, it should look like this. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. I had a really fun time designing this and building it for you guys. I hope you had a good time watching it. Let me know what you think about this in the comments down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.